Harris Show. And of course, I'm your guy, Keith Harris. You listen to HotlineRadio.net. Now, listen, every day is a special day right here on the show, but today in particularly, I would like to say is an extraordinary day. Two wonderful masters at their craft. Two gentlemen on the phone with me today who we're blessed enough to have take time out to talk with us. As a lot of you are familiar with, Mr. Mel Novak, as a matter of fact, he's returning to talk to us again, and we're honored to have him back on the show. How you doing, Mel?
It's well with my soul, and I'm happy to be back with you because I really enjoyed the other show we did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We had a good long conversation also too. I enjoyed every minute. And also on the line with us today we have the one and the only. Let me roll out the red carpet for this gentleman. He's doing a lot of things. He's staying busy in the industry. We're very proud of him and his success so far. The one and only Lovie Johnson. What's going on, Lovie?
Hey now.
How you doing out there, my man?
Man, I can't complain. Ain't nobody want to hear all that anyway, brother.
Hey, yeah, you know what? You're right about that, man. Look, man, so look, first of all, I want to say to both of you, I'm going to give the introduction. I'm going to give people a brief rundown, first of all, which they should be familiar with. But, first of all, I want to congratulate you guys working together. I know you guys are tearing the setup. I know it must be real fun over there, right?
Oh, of course, man. Ain't no other way. How do we? This is Mel Novak I'm over here sitting with, man. So you got to either come with it or sit in the back of the bus.
That's right. That's right. Listen, and for all of you out there who may have been under a rock for a long time and don't know, are not quite familiar, or that younger generation that might not be familiar with Mr. Mel Novak, legendary actor, as a matter of fact, and not just a legendary actor, but also very active in the community with helping people. I know he still, goes to the jail, to the big house, and helps to mentor the inmates and stuff there. We'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. But for a lot of you out there who remember Mel Novak, he's been in the Critical Fumble series, also Samurai Cop 2, Deadly Vengeance. Big shouts out to everybody involved in that project. Kill Factor, classics like SWAT, Game of Death, Truck Turner. Just so many different things. And these two guys also are working on something else. We get into that too. Another film. And Lovie Johnson, by the way, Warrior Woman, which I'm going to talk a little bit about that too quickly when we get a chance. Rescue, Fright Night, Debt to Society. These guys have been working. They've been working. They've got wonderful resumes under their belts. So welcome to the show once again, fellas.
Thanks for having us, Keith.
All right. Now, let me ask this. Is this your first time? Is this you two's first time working together?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Oh.
Not the last.
Wow.
Not the last, baby. This is just the beginning, man. Mel stuck with me.
Yeah, hey, that's why I asked that question, too, because I felt like you all had either worked together or, were going to continue working together after this project, because this is Syndicate Smasher, which we'll talk about. But there is also something else, and I don't know if I can say it right now. I know you guys are on set, but there's another project that ends with Darkness that I believe you two might be attached to too, right?
Well, yes, you can say it, because the funny thing is that the director of Syndicate Smasher, Mr. D.M.V.KeithHarris, is also directing Supernal Darkness.
Okay.
Supernal Darkness.
Okay.
So yes, you can say that, so of course, yes. So, Keith, you know how I fit in there, because my ministry is behind enemy lines in the prisons and penitentiaries and Skid Row. So Keith knew I was going to, or Lovie knew I was going to fit in.
Yeah.
Like a shoe that fits, baby. I mean, yeah. I'll tell you this, man. Knowing celebrities and then actually getting to meet them and spend some time with them, I've done that on more than a few occasions. And Mel has to be not only the quintessential pro, but he's also one of the most down-to-earth people that I've ever met. And besides the fact that he's a brother in Christ, that's an automatic connection from the get-go. So,
right.
Amen to that.
Absolutely, gotta respect it. Listen, Lovie, I sat down, me during the chance that Mel and I had opportunity to talk. I learned so much, from Mr. Novak. As a matter of fact, a lot of things, Mr. Novak, that I still carry with me till this day. As a matter of fact,
Praise the Lord.
And,
This is Mel. Just call me Mel.
okay.
I'm just a private in Jesus Army.
I know, man, but you know, I look, like I say, I take my hat off to you, man. So much respect for you.
Thank you.
Now,
Easter was my 33rd anniversary on Skid Row.
Wow.
And in June, around my birthday, June 16th, is 30 years in prisons.
Wow, and still making it. Still,
I lasted this long.
Still making it.
Now, Keith, let me piggyback off of what Mel just said. Now, Mel used his talents that God blessed him with as his platform to be able to go into the prisons, to be able to go behind enemy lines and help rescue these lost souls.
Right.
So it's all about what you do with the gifts that you're given with. Yeah. And this may sound cheesy, but you can either use your gifts for good or you can use them for evil. That's one way or the other. There's no in between, no happy medium. You can't ride the fence. Choice. One way or the other is choice. Amen.
Hey, that's right, Lovie. And you know, just like you said, you can use that gift for one or the other. And one thing is for sure: at the end of it all, you're gonna have to answer for one or the other.
You're right. You're right.
Amen. All right, now you know, a little bit of, you know, going into Syndicate Smasher here. Just kind of give us a bit of the storyline without giving too much away of what the plot is here. Who's
well,
getting?
I play the mercenaries leader, where I have a gal and two other guys, and we get involved with the Russians, the Yakuza, and the Mafia.
Oh man!
And everybody's trying to shoot us out.
All at once.
There's a lot because we did a drug deal and we took the money. Now they're all looking for us, but it's an incredible action adventure, and you have casting was excellent with the Mafia people. You got people, professional, excellent actors, and I just shot this one guy from the Yakuza. He's worked a lot, and that scene went great. And that was the main thing is they got the perfect casting for this film, and everybody has a passion to do what they're doing, and I'm really enjoying myself. You know, it's a blessing just to be in a film. You know, to have a lead, and April, the guy told me tomorrow I'm preaching to LA County Jail. I'm going to tell them, hey, I just shot 6 people, but I used blanks. I got to keep telling you guys, you can't use blanks. You can't use the real bullets anymore.
There it is. The real bullets will take you somewhere else. You don't want to go. So,
but in the end, we were not killed. Mm-hmm. It sets it up for a sequel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
so many good people. Warren Landon, and
wow.
And Benny, the producer and directors, the writers, just excellent. I mean, it's a blessing.
And you're right, and you're right at home too. You're right at home too, Mel, in this type of film because you're used to smashing up some heads and taking some people out.
I started out with Black Belt Joe.
Right, kicking butt off gate. Now, Lovie, where and a bit about your role in this film, if you will.
I'm on as an associate producer for this project.
Oh, okay.
And I have a role. Well, it started off, I was Sammy the informant, which where we come from is Sammy the Slash. It's the snitch.
Right.
And so they say, but this is the thing. This is how God does. He changed it up, and so I ended up becoming Sammy the Special Forces gun for hire guy. And it morphed into something else basically. So, which brought out my talents as an actor as well. So it's evolved into something.
Right.
I'm grateful for anything that I get. I'm grateful to be working, just like Mel would tell you, especially in this crazy business that we're in. It's a blessing to be able to get jobs. So,
right.
My role, besides being an actor in this film, is being an associate producer. And then on top of that, the one thing that you want more than anything, and Keith, I know you can attest, you can agree with me on this, and Mel as well. Mm-hmm. You got to have a great team around you.
Oh yeah.
Michael Jordan didn't win all those 6 championships by himself.
Right.
There was 4 other guys out there that each had their own special job. Luke Longley was a big dude. He could shoot the 15-footer. Rodman was the guy who got rebounds and just knocked people out of the park. Steve Kerr sit out there and shot threes. You know what I'm saying? Scottie Pippen was a guy who did a little bit of everything on the court.
Right.
You know, and Mike was, well, we know he was Mike.
Right.
So the best thing I did when I first started producing about 8 years ago was to surround myself with people who were smarter than me in the business and that I could trust. And I asked God to send me the right people. Now, there was other people that came my way, wolf in sheep's clothing, and you learn your hard lesson with that. But with Syndicate Smasher, oh my goodness, it's just been unreal. Actually, I'm sitting here with one of our producers, Mr. Kevin Melker, man. This guy is just freaking phenomenal. Say, what's up, Kev? Hello.
What's going on, Kev? Big shouts out from the whole wide world.
Hello.
Hey.
So yeah, with the great wardrobe people we have, and with the makeup, and from the director to the grits to the ADs. I mean, this is it looks like confusion, but it's organized confusion because everybody knows what they're doing. We're professional, and we love each other. Man, this excellent cinematographers, man. So this has been a learning experience every day. We always assess at the end of the day, what did we do well that day on production, what did we didn't do well. We pat ourselves on the back for the good stuff for just a minute, and then we concentrate on the things that we didn't do well so we can alleviate those problems for the future. So when we get to Supernal Darkness, which is going to be significantly more than what was spent on Syndicate Smasher, you know, you're talking about the 7-figure budget, it's going to be like it's nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If you prepare now, you know this. You don't get ready for the basketball season a week before the season starts. Am I right?
That's right.
No.
You got to go out early.
You keep the engine running. You don't put your foot on the gas pedal. That's it. You just keep it rolling and keep ready, man. And that's what we've been doing steadily every day, cranking this stuff out with such a great crew. So it's been a blessing all the way around, man. And this international field we have. I mean, they got me in there speaking Japanese. The brother in there speaking Japanese. Konnichiwa, kid. That's how we doing it.
And you know what? What else too? You know, when I look at some of the stills and things like that from you guys. Listen, the pictures. Just even looking at the pictures, I can tell how you guys. It almost brings those pictures to life. You can look at the photos and tell just how wonderful everyone works on set with the expressions inside their face. So, like you say, it's just like with a team effort. Everyone is able to assist each other, and that's a big deal, Lovie.
Oh man, it's a huge deal. Mel could come in and have been a prima donna type guy, and he wasn't, man. He's so open and he's approachable, and his energy is just phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? So this project what usually happens, you start off as one thing, and then it can either venture into something else, or it continues to go on that steady forward path of progress. And this thing is it's blowing up, man. The buzz on this thing is gonna be crazy.
Right.
So you guys watch out. Syndicate Smasher is gonna be something to be reckoned with. And plus, when you got Mel Novak in a starring role, you can't go wrong.
Exactly. And it seems like, you know, and I know you and Mel, as a matter of fact, both are used to playing upbeat paces. You know, upbeat roles where you really kind of have to be physical in it as well.
Of course. You know, Mel's been doing it since, you know, and I'm just in the dawn of time, but Mel's been doing it for a while. but this is my thing, though. When I knew that Mel was on this project, and then I saw the Game of Death. I about did a double flip, man, because I was like, oh yeah, I grew up with Bruce Lee. The first movie I ever saw was Enter the Dragon. That's the first movie I ever saw was Enter the Dragon. And then to meet somebody who had a chance to spend time with a legend like that.
Yep.
Keith,
That's
I
it.
met Bruce Lee when he was doing the Green Hornet, and he folded his hands and he looked at me and said, "You got a villain's face." Little did he know that, as I know, that I was going to play the villain in the Game of Death.
And he just saw it though. And look, Mel, everybody, look, people can look at you and tell that. And you know, that's the thing. You know what? That's the range and the versatility, as we talked about before when we spoke, that you have. You know, you being, you know, such a respected and down to earth kind of guy, and then at the same time you got this look that's just like, listen, I'm going to get you, and you fit right into those roles. your transformation when you get. Let me ask you this, Mel. How do you? And I guess it's a simple question, more so to you. You do this all the time, but how easy or hard is it for you to just make that transition? Because you leave, before you get to set, you're helping people. You're so kind at heart, and then when you get to set, you're like, okay, I've got to kill you. You know what I mean?
Focus, all focus, and a straight face. That's what Mel said. He's no motion. He's just gonna shoot you with a straight face. But I could, like, tomorrow I'll be at LA County Jail, the war zone preaching. Today we had an incredible day of shooting with dialogue and shoot them up with the guns and everything. And I've learned how to do that because, like I told you in the first show, I should have died 6 times. I never did drugs or alcohol. I had nothing to do with that.
Right.
I had 27 surgeries, a cripple for 5 years from pro ball. So I know what it is just to have a blessing, just to live.
Yes.
Each day is a blessing. And last year we talked. I didn't do one film last week. I got offers in small roles. I wouldn't do it. By November, I had 4 starring roles and 2 co-starrings this year. That's
Wow.
So, but in the meantime, I'm still going about the Lord's business.
Absolutely, and I'm not surprised at all that the work comes like that for you. That it comes plentiful for you, and I'm sure that it will continue to. But and I also do want to take this time out to ask you, how has your health been since we talked last, Mel?
Hey, every day by the ground's a good day for me.
Okay.
My prostate cancer was healed. God healed me there, man. I've been healed from a lot of things, and
Don't let Mel fool you. He's doing his own stunts, jumping off the wall, hardcore, come on, man. Mel over here trying to be modest, man. If we let him go, he'd be kung fu and everybody through the window, man. That brother looks good, man.
Look, I know it.
Keith,
Yeah.
mention here, you got a lot of followers and listeners. You go to my website, you can see a lot of stuff on there. It's www.melnovak.com.
Okay.
You got a lot of stuff with the films, with his ministry. There's a warfare prayer. You go to the warfare section. I'm giving over 124,000 of those, and I sent you one of them.
Right. As a matter of fact, yeah. And you know what? And like he said, everybody out there listening all across the globe, make sure you go check that out. www.melnovak.com, and keep up with all of the different things that Mel has going on, from the pictures to the programs. And you know what, Mel, I want to ask you if people out there, if they're in the area or near the area, or just people who need help or need you to pray for them at times like that, they can contact you or email you or something. All right.
Yeah, Nails, Nails 007 at netzero.net. Nails, Nails.
Okay.
007, and I'm good at encouraging people when they're hit with devastation.
You taught me.
It's called using your testimony. It's use your testimony, because that's why you go through adversity in life. It's not about getting hit. It's about how you deal with it once you get hit. Because 10% of what happens to you in life is 90% on how you deal with it. Period.
Right.
Adversity is always going to happen, man. God, life is always going to throw you right hooks, left hooks, and stuff out of the blue. And it's like, how do you react to it?
Right.
An inmate at Susanville Penitentiary said to me, "How'd your faith get so strong?" I said, "Through adversity."
There you go. No, it's dead.
That's what builds you and prepares you for your next storyline in life, not just on camera.
Yep.
Right. Now,
and just to let you know, Keith, we got 5 more minutes past that time that we should discuss, so just take your time.
Okay. Now, when can we look for, possibly for Syndicate Smasher to be released, or is that just, it's up in the air? You guys are still working on a date, or?
No, next year.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah,
we rolling, baby.
We still got a lot of shooting to go.
Okay.
Then there's editing and.
But 2016 at some point, man. That's when Supernal Darkness is going to be released as well. Because we plan on shooting that in October.
Okay, so
that's the plan.
Okay, so you got now. Are you able? I know it's early in the makings, but are you able to kind of discuss what Supernal Darkness? Listen, first of all, I love these titles. these titles are catchy. They speak for themselves, and when you hear them, you want to watch them and just stop and say, what is this all about? Are you able to kind of discuss what Supernal Darkness might be about?
Yes, of course. With Supernal Darkness is a project that was designed to entertain and enlighten, and you can do that if it's written well, and you've got good enough or great actors that can be able to bring that vision to life. We're dealing with a tough subject of child abuse and child trafficking.
Oh wow!
But the thing is, it's all about how you present your message and your story and what you're trying to do. Right. So, as far as the deal's concerned, everything is good, man. Like this film is taking on a life of its own. This project is taking on a life of its own. The things that I can tell is that, we got Stephen Michael Quezada from the hit show Breaking Bad is one of the lead detectives in there. Oh, wow. And there's another superstar, but I can't tell you his name just yet. But trust me, he's a superstar. And of course we got Mel, and I was looking for the main elite guy that has that type of persona that can pull it off. And when I was cast in the same film as Mel Novak, I was like, I need to talk to this brother about that. So, once we connected on that Christ level, the rest was pretty easy, So, but this project is all, it also has a comic book graphic novel attached to it. Okay. And a 10-page teaser is out right now. You can find it on www.supernaldarkness.com. As a comic book graphic novel teaser, but it's been seen all over the world, though. So, and it's been seen in the #1 place for child trafficking, which is the Arabian Peninsula. It's the #1 place. And trust me, when I looked on the statistics on my the teaser, it showed that the Arabian Peninsula was one of the places that it was looked at. So this thing is letting me know with this worldwide gain is that this worldwide recognition that this is going to be something super special.
Right, and it in the story you're telling me, it really sounds like it's gonna be something that's gonna touch the inside. It's one of those issues, and it's good that you all are bringing light to such subjects, because listen, people don't hear about these this type of thing all the time, and they definitely don't see films necessarily about it in the light where you guys have. Listen, are you guys running out of time over there? I know you all on set talking to us.
Yeah, what we're going to do is because Mel needs to, he doesn't really need to get the makeup. He looks as good as he is. But Mel needs to get back to set, get ready. The director did bless us with some time. Okay. I'd like to give a shout out to him, Mr. Doug. Anyways, Doug, the director, and then Benny Tahandra. Okay. So they blessed us with this time, and we're giving out for Syndicate Smasher. So, right. But let's go ahead and say goodbye to Mel and get back on set. Hey Keith, love you, man. And anytime you ever want me, just all you can do is call.
Hey Mel, absolutely, man. Listen, it's been a blessing and always an honor to talk to you. I love you too, man. And listen, keep doing your thing and go shoot somebody right now on set and listen.
I got 2 of them right now I'm gonna shoot.
All right, and send the blessings to the to the inmates and everything like that, man. And we got you in our prayers.
I'll have about 80 in the service.
All right, and listen, Mel, do your thing. We'll be talking to you soon. Mel Novak, everybody out there.
God bless you and everybody listening.
All right, God bless. All right, Lovie.
Yes, sir.
All right, you got to get back to, or did you have another minute?
No, you're good. Keep rolling.
Okay, all right. But so that subject itself that subject itself really seems like it goes deep into what's going on, and that's going to be touchy. You produced this, but you're also a writer as well.
Yes, sir. One of the biggest things I learned, man, early on, and I've been doing this professionally, is acting like since 2000, and it's one of those things I learned that if you come to Hollywood, and the first thing that people ask you is, well, what are you? I'm an actor. Well, so are 3 million other people here doing the same thing. Yeah. So you have to find out what it is that you do differently. Not just being an actor and then you look a certain way. No, it's what else do you bring to the table? And I found that I had a great knack for producing, and then I could write as well. I just never thought of applying it to what I was doing now. Right. And I wrote the screenplay for Supernal Darkness, because it comes from a personal story as well. So, you know, this is my heart and soul poured into this because I want to be able to help kids who have been through these types of things, and they're back out in society, but they're confused and lost, man. Because people have given up on them, you know. And it's like, oh, you got in trouble, you did something wrong, you're messing up in school, and you know, it's just a different generation than when we grew up in, Keith. You know, I'm about to be 39, man.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm looking at the way these kids are nowadays, man, and they're angry. These kids are angry, man. They're really angry, and they just need somebody to listen to them. And that's what better way to influence some kids is you got to be able to put yourself on that level, to be able to put yourself on that level where they understand, but you don't lose the essence of the message. Think about it. What better way, Keith, is on a silver screen where people will go in and pay their money. Now, people going to pay their money, and they're going to walk in that thing expecting to see this psychological action thriller, but it's going to be something when they walk away and be like, wow, that was some movie. I just feel like I'm inspired. I'm inspired to do something. And if I end up inspiring one person, you never know. That one person could be meant to inspire millions.
Right.
And I've accomplished what I'm trying to do to a degree, you know. So this is a fight you never give up on. You're always pushing with this, man. But
and you know what? And sorry, and I you know, again, I want to commend you for that because you know, you having the platform and having the opportunity to do, you know, to be able to write, produce, and create films. You look at the choice you made. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people. You know, and not to knock any other films that people do, fine. But everybody would have went down that typical route. You know, I guess I should say. Whereas, right. Whereas you picked a subject that first of all is not easy. Number one. Number two, you have to do your homework on subjects like this. You understand? Right. You know, and to because they're touchy. They're not. These aren't just stories that you can come up with and say, hey, you know, this guy went here and that happened and this. No, because these are things that, listen, they're happening in everyday life, but they're not happening in necessarily our society really close to us. So you had to go out and get that, you know, and get the plot to this. And it shows a lot because it just says something about you. You had to be interested in finding this and bringing it back to the table for everybody. And that's teaching.
Well, you know, I will tell you this, man. I didn't have to go too far, Keith.
Wow.
This thing happens right here under our noses. I call it a swept under the rug epidemic.
Wow.
And people don't want to look at it. They don't want. I had one person say, wow, I didn't know that really existed. I thought that was just something on TV.
Man.
And you want to laugh, but in reality, that hurt my heart hearing that. Like, wow, it's really ignorant people out there that don't get this.
Yeah.
That don't understand this. And this thing happens all the time. There was this powerful editorial cartoon I saw one day, and it had two pictures. One picture had at the top, the caption said, "This is what we think a pedophile looks like." And then the next picture, the first picture, it had this guy, and he was in a hoodie and dark glasses, and he was scruffy looking, right? And the next picture said, the caption said, "This is what pedophiles really look like." And under that caption showed this some normal guy with a polo and some khakis on with his thumb up like, hey. So it's like we have this notion in society that people got to look a certain way or these predators got to look a certain way. No, that's not how it goes, man. They're wolf in sheep's clothing. That's why it happens so rampantly, but yet it's such an embarrassing thing here in the country that we just choose not to look at it a lot of the time.
Right.
You know?
And most people are, you know, either afraid of it or just think that it cannot happen to them.
Right. But in fact, think about this. When it happens to one, it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So regardless of we want to try to be separate in this country as much as we want, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together, man. So this thing runs across the board. You know, there's predators in every race. You know, so it's one of those things where I had to. Yeah. I wanted to figure out the best possible way to use my powers, my talent, and use that platform because I dealt with that as a child, and then yet I still found a way to graduate high school, to graduate college to play pro basketball and have some successes, but then on the other way, it was an internal conflict of not being able to trust people.
Yeah.
And that comes from just personal relationships. That was, I was married at one time as well, so and that affected that relationship. So people think, oh, it happened to you as a kid, just blow it off and let it go. It's not that simple. Trust me.
Right.
If it was that simple, brother, I wouldn't be doing this project right now.
Yeah.
You understand, Keith?
Yeah.
So as far as when I've helped kids and I've seen them go through it, it's unreal, man. In New Mexico, just a quick statistic, at least I think it's about 9 to 1,100 people, children are homeless on the streets of Albuquerque, man.
Damn.
We ain't talking about adults. We're talking about kids.
Children. And
we're talking about children, man.
Right.
We're talking about children. So what do they do, Keith? What do they do? In order to survive, they got to get money.
That's it.
If you ain't got no skills, then the only other way you're going to get money probably is doing what? Selling yourself.
Yep.
In some type of way. And we know where that leads to.
Yep.
Drug addiction, alcohol abuse. Just, it's all types of things, man.
Yeah.
Mental troubles and the whole nine, man. I mean,
right.
And then plus on that with the word supernal, which is another word for spiritual. Spiritual darkness. You're dealing with the innocence of a child that is ripped away and will never get back. And excuse my blunt on this, it's like virginity. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
Once that innocence is gone, it's gone.
Yeah, it
and
is.
After that, you have there's a shell of a something left. You understand? So right now with this project and what we're doing, I've gotten some of the community in New Mexico that have bought into this, and some young business owners. You can go and order tea at this one place called New Mexico Tea Company, and he puts aside 20% of every ounce of tea that he sells to go towards any charity that we need, as far as children are concerned.
Wow.
There's another place that has it's called Golden Panaderia, and they've been around since 1972. The father and son deal, but the father's finally passed it on to the son, and him and I talked about the project, and so what we did was we came up with a pizza based off of the film. And so people come in and order that, $10 pizza, $11 pie, whatever, I think it's 7% of that gets set aside. So one check at the end of the month, and it's called a slow drip, man. It's not going to be this big time, 5-6 figures, but which, we would like that, but
right.
We're establishing a relationship. We're establishing trust with these people.
Yeah.
And I said, what better way is to be unique and do that. So when you see clothes in Supernal Darkness, all that stuff is going to be sellable. It's designed specifically for Supernal Darkness, and it will be sold. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To help benefit the project and children. So I've got a plan in mind with this thing, man. It's all about planning. You got to have a vision. If you don't have a vision, you're going nowhere.
Right, and it's a movement. It's a movement. In a whole round, in a 360, because not only is this a film that you're putting out, but it's also something that will live on. Because
right.
the film, the movie will come out. People will see it. They'll be able to go watch it. That'll be timeless. But changing lives will make such a difference. Listen, that's always a plus. A triple plus.
Ain't no dollar amount on that, Keith.
Right.
I don't care if I have $100 million, but if I help change one kid from making a bad decision of messing up his whole life,
oh man,
you know what I'm saying? Or at least this, I inspire him to think twice.
Yeah,
if we all thought twice about some things, Keith, this would be a different world, brother.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, it'd be a different world. But it's like you say, it's like spilled milk, homie.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna sit here and cry about it. Oh, you did this. Who spilled the milk? No, the milk was on the ground. Let's go get us some paper towels.
Wipe it up. Yep. And keep going.
Let's get it cleaned up. And then let's figure out how do we keep that milk from spilling again. It will never eradicate it, brother.
Yeah.
But we're not going to give up.
Wow.
Because what's that saying? It's like evil triumphs when good men do nothing.
Yeah.
Evil triumphs when good men do nothing. So if you turn a blind eye, I guarantee you there's something going on there. There's something going on there.
You know what? Listen, Lovie. You just said a lot right there. In that one line you just said, when people turn a blind eye, it's guaranteed there's something going on, and that's one of the biggest problems nowadays, and why people in society, young and old, a lot of times, have to feel neglected and upset because people are turning a blind eye to certain things. And when you turn a blind eye, it's the same as not doing anything about it. It's the same as not caring. It's almost
wow. That's powerful, man.
It's almost the same as condoning. That's right. When you listen, especially and we take this back to just God in general, and in the higher powers. If you know something, when people out there know something is right or know something is wrong, and we know the difference, with good sense and good mind, we know the difference. And if people can stand around and do nothing, it's almost as bad as advocating.
Oh man, but you can't tell nobody that though. You can't tell most people that turn a blind eye. You can't tell them that. So the best thing I can do is this: to make Supernal Darkness, along with my team, with phenomenal producer, director, Benny Tahandra. Mm-hmm. Please look him up on Facebook. And Doug as well, the other director and the writer. This project, man, and it's just like I'm still at a loss for words for it with it every day, which that's a blessing. Right. Because things keep coming to this project that I just didn't expect. You know what I'm saying? Right. But God knew what we needed. I didn't expect to get a comic book graphic novel. Those things are super expensive, brother. But these people followed the Facebook page for a month and a half, and their name is I'll Say Prop. It's Dream Propaganda up in New York. They followed the page for a month and a half and reached out to me and said, would you like a comic book graphic novel to help with what you're doing?
Wow.
We see the potential. They said, it reminds us of The Walking Dead. Now, to show you about The Walking Dead is a huge show, right?
Right.
But it started off as a graphic novel, and it became so popular that somebody paid for the pilot. And then now we know what the pilot did. You feel me?
Yeah.
So right now, when he proposed that to me, Dream Propaganda, I was like, oh, we're all on board. Let's do this. And so we created this beautiful thing, this 10-page teaser that's out. You guys should take a look at it. It's full color. It's really powerful. But when you come to this film, man, besides what we're doing for helping with the kids, it's going to entertain you. It's a brutal film. But how else do you tell this type of story?
There's no other way.
You tell this type of story. You can't candy coat this type of story.
No.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you think of Supernal Darkness, think of these two movies. It's Dark Knight meets Halloween.
Dang. Man.
Yeah, we ain't messing around, Keith. We ain't messing around with this, man. This is a project that's been in development for like straight up probably about 6 years.
Right.
But it really started to take to come into fruition when the right people started getting attracted to the project.
Right.
And the pieces started to come. So it was on.
And you, sorry to stop you, but you play those roles as well that really hit home with people. And
right.
just to kind of change the channel just a bit, talking about Rush, okay?
Right.
What was the story behind that? Now was that a short or was?
Oh, Rescue.
Yeah, Rescue. Sorry, Rescue. I apologize.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No, Rescue was a short film, and it was a kind of a paranormal thriller, and it talked about, and it was a paramedic that was a vet on the job, and he had a rookie that night, and they ended up encountering something that he's never seen in all his years, and then of course she's never seen because she's new, and it was just all about how they dealt with the situation, and but it was that kind of that hero type role, and I enjoy those. Then you got Warrior Woman, which was, I played a Nigerian exchange student across from Stephen Michael Quezada. It was a movie that was about a woman dealing with breast cancer, which could probably be pretty depressing, right? But we were the comic relief throughout the film. You know what I'm saying? To kind of give it that little, because you can't keep the audience so low the whole time. You go low. So You know, so it's different roles. I mean, I ask God that I want the roles that He wants me to play, and because I don't want to be typecasted. I know you've seen Hollywood Shuffle. That still takes place. That still takes place to this day.
Yep.
Still takes place to this day, brother. I'm not gonna be no crackhead.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be this you know, the stereotypical whatever Hollywood or you know, ignorant America thinks a black man should portray on screen. You know, you feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm a content creator. That's why I write, because I can write my own stuff and I can film my own stuff, and then we keep putting it out there until it hits home somewhere.
Until it hits.
Know? So,
you know what? In Rescue, I like how you all did that too, because you know that's another serious topic, obviously, and not often do you see films where, as you say, it gives people a reason to lighten up. I mean, it's a serious subject, so that it's always hard to lighten up about something like that anyway. In no way does anyone want to turn it into a joke, but still, it gives people another side of life to continue enjoying. You know what I mean? Yeah. To let them know, listen, you know, at a time when you're going through your struggles, life can still have some normalities to it. And I think that was important that you all did that.
Right. And I think that's a great point, man. And I trust me, you know, I love comic books, man. And you know, I'm a Marvel, you know, superhero fan to a degree, you know. But you know, if I see one more cape, man, I'm gonna throw up, homie. You feel me? It's like you got so much power in Hollywood, and you put out this garbage.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's garbage because it's meaning like, what is it enlightening me or any other person to do? You know, besides wanting to put on a cape and think that there's somebody that they're not. You know, it's like it doesn't. There's no. They try to probably mix a little moral story up in there, but I mean, come on, man. You know, that's not really good. What happened to the movies like Mississippi Burning?
Oh man.
What happened to you? Feel what I'm saying? Things that hit home. What happened? What about higher learning?
Listen.
You feel me?
You know what?
What about things that challenge people? You feel me?
I got.
You know, what did John Singleton say at the end of higher learning? What was the thing? He said unlearn.
Yep. You know what?
He said unlearn.
You know what, Lovie, man? You just said. Listen, I got a lot of people afraid to go there with that. You know, and myself, I've asked that question for the last, I don't know, maybe, I know 4 years, 5 years at least, and probably I can count longer. The stories and the movies that really mean something to us in everyday life, just where are they? Nobody's telling those stories. Like you say, there's so many, you know, entertainment is entertainment. Don't get me wrong. But there's nothing, I won't say nothing, but there's not many viewable films or that are accessed or that make it, you know, out there to everybody in the public that we can really relate to what we're going through, or that really we learn something, you know, that we learn. Look, like you spoke of higher learning, for instance, okay? Where are those types of films? You know, where are the inspirational films and things of that nature? They're just not there. Listen, do you think people are just afraid to touch on those? And this, you know, and everybody out there, listen, don't get me wrong. Don't begin to take this as, you know, some sort of biasness, or, you know, no one's going, you know, pro this or pro that, because this is all about everybody, every culture, every race, everyone, you know, children.
It is pro something. You know, if people ask me, oh, I'm pro black. Yeah, I'm pro black. I'm pro white. I'm pro Asian. I'm pro Mexican.
Right.
I'm pro people, man. And then, but let me tell you why. I'm a mutt. Brother, I'm a gumbo.
Me too.
I'm African American, I'm Irish, and I'm Native American. You can see it all in me. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not going to deny the rest of me, you know, because I want to be on this trip about, you know, I just want to just be there, and it's all about black people, man. And for me, it's not like that. It's about everybody.
Yep.
You feel me?
Yep.
It's about everybody, because I've come across everybody in my life. Being in the entertainment business, you ain't going to meet just black people in the entertainment business. That's just not the way it works.
Right.
And so you connect with other people from other cultures. But I think also, with me being a military brat, I lived in Germany, I've lived all over the place, it opens you up to be more cultured and be more understanding of people that did not look like you. Absolutely, yes. And if you could accept those people and let me just sit down and talk with them for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow. I have a lot more common with this person than I thought.
Absolutely.
You know,
you are right.
People don't want to touch it because there's a couple different reasons. they have some personal deal to it, either directly or indirectly. And then other people mostly care about themselves. So they're like, that ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? So that's the sad thing about it, because we're supposed to be here for each other.
Right.
You know?
And some people...
The way the world's been going now, everything is so individualized. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it takes you away from interacting with people. Look at people texting and walking at the same time. I mean, really? You know what I'm saying? Everything, the laptops and the phones, everybody's heads are down. Looking up. They're not looking up. Experiencing life. They're fixed into this electronic screen. You know what I'm saying? About their next alert or their next posting, or you know, this guy went to IHOP and had a double stack. We really don't care.
There it is.
But regardless of, this is the thing you can't cry about. I can't cry about the people who don't like me, who don't like the project, who don't like the fact that I'm pro people. I can't whine about them. I can't worry about that. But what I do concern myself with is the people who do have my back, the people that do see my point of view. That's what the people I'm working with. If these other people want to decide to open themselves up and come into the game and humble themselves, and guess what? The door is open. Other than that, life is too short. I ain't got time to be sitting over here trying to convince you, because you're not open to it.
Man.
You're not open to it, period. So, you know, this is a powerful subject. You got to figure out which way you do it. I think there's a platform. You know, there's a pulpit for everybody, but it doesn't have to be in a church. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like you said, it's about choice. What are you going to do with your talent? You feel me? Because this is the thing, we're dealing with child abuse and child trafficking and all that, man. There's like black magic and all this different stuff. People don't get what's going on, what's really going on. And this is the funny thing about it. Whether they believe in the spiritual world or not, and whether they believe in ghosts and spells and wizardry and all that, whether you believe in it or not, there are rich, powerful people that do. And they're making this stuff happen at our children's expense.
Yep. That's right.
So when you get past your little world of like, well, this is something I can't see it, I don't believe it. You know? No. That has none. You keep on thinking that if you want to. And eventually it's going to come across your path. You're going to have to deal with something that you weren't expecting because you felt like it could never happen to you or wasn't your concern.
That's
you
right.
know? Life has a way of teaching you things. But it won't force it on you. Either you're going to get it or that opportunity is going to pass you by and you're going to be stuck in the same rut.
You're going to be stuck right there. And, you know, I excuse me, I just wanted to stop for a minute and you know, on behalf of, you know, just everybody out there listening, you know, in just different generations, especially the younger generations and even some of the older generations that don't really understand and get the picture of just what Lovie's been really touching on nowadays. Listen, life is, you know, as he said, life is about decisions and making the right decisions. One of the most important things that you can do is learn. You know, learn is a broad word. We know that because there's so many different things that you can learn. But listen, start to understand what's going on out here in the world. Grab more hold of your future, what your plans are, what you want to do. Don't get so caught up in, you know, in the media necessarily or in the stereotypes and the things that they just want to portray to you. Because like you said earlier, Lovie, listen, with all the social media, which is good, it gives a way to communicate, but you still have to know who you are as a person. If all of this stuff went away today, how many of you would be walking around like zombies and not have any clue as to, well, what am I supposed to do next? I can't go on Facebook and find out what's happening. You know, my data plan's not working. You know, what's the next step that I have to take? And this is a scary reality of the world. And a lot of people don't see it because it's covered up. And you know, and there's a big difference to it, man. So I just wanted to stop, man, and you know, just kind of touch on everybody and say that to people. Listen, it's almost darkness right here on the phone right now because what we're talking about is so real. You know what I mean? And you know, and people don't totally understand that, but you know what you're saying is 100% true. It's out there.
Well, you know, this is the main thing, Keith. Is what I look at. When you, besides having choices in life, I mean, you know, and that's evident because you're gonna make those every day. You get up, you know, in the morning and start your day. You know, you always got choices. Am I eating oatmeal this morning? Or am I doing pancakes? You know, there's little simple choices like that. you know, to whether, hey, am I going to blink this person off because they cut me off the freeway,
right.
you know,
right.
or I'm just going to let it go because probably that person is dealing with some stuff that I ain't got no idea about, you know, and so you need to, it comes to the point to where you have to figure out in your life and in your existence and as you walk around who you want to be and what type of people do you want to surround yourself with, period. Because it's a great Einstein quote I learned. Because when I went through a divorce, the people I thought was friends, guess what, Keith? They were nowhere to be found, brother.
That's right.
They weren't nowhere to be found when I was sleeping in my car. Nowhere to be found when I was sitting there eating freaking Taco Bell at night in the middle of the night. You feel me? Nobody. Nobody was there. There's all these people like, oh, well, your marriage messed up, so you just must be just a sorry dude.
Right.
So, you know, it's like, okay. But then I heard this quote that helped me put things into perspective. And it was from Albert Einstein. And he said, I would not spend a quantity of my time with people of whom I do not wish to become.
Man.
Yeah, brother. Man. I got chills right now just saying it. I'm telling you, brother, it's like, wow. When I heard that from a guy, a great mind like that, like, you know, the use of, man.
Look,
I was like, wow, that's so real.
Look, listen, Lovie, look, that's why I had to stop. That's why I had to stop a second ago and just try to keep pushing that into the listeners' minds. Because people don't get to hear it. Listen, today is a 24-hour day period. And how many times are people going to hear that? You know what I'm saying?
At all.
Right. You know, and how many times are people going to hear that? You know, things that a lot of people should probably write on your wall. You know, write on a piece of paper and put that on your wall and make sure you remember that and you go look at that because your mind can slip. That's powerful words, man. And you know what? Listen, that's like with part of this show, for instance, why I just love what you're saying so much. Listen, I talk to people all the time. You know, you're in this industry and you talk to people all the time about what's going on with this and what's going on with that. But those are jewels. Those are jewels right there that you're dropping that really are about life. And they're more important in a lot of ways than some other, than other things, because they also help people to realize their next goal, to realize their next dream, and say, wait a minute, you know what? I don't want to be like this person. Why am I being like this person? You know what I'm saying? Man, wow. That's real right there. And, like you were talking about the people, through your divorce, like you say, they weren't there and hating. And a lot of them, because I went through the same thing, through my trials and tribulations, people like, they're judging it, they're judging you and everything like that. And then when you turn around and start doing better, and I'll just say this even, with myself, I get less love from the people that I spent more time with before, before I got to where I am today. I don't even hear from those people, Lovie. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, those people don't, but that's the way it is in life. So but like you said, you can't cry about spilt milk. You have to know your goal. You have to take small steps to get to that larger goal and do your thing and don't worry about others. And for those who fall in line and say, you know what, I get it, or I support you, I'm with it, maybe we can help build off each other. That's what you do. The rest, let them fall to the wayside. I mean, that's just me. That's just me, like I can reach out, but I can't tug but so hard.
Right.
So
I believe that's powerful, man. I mean, that's powerful what you're saying. It's just that, in the way that we can help to start turning people's consciousness to being aware of what's going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can tell people, okay, listen, ask God for forgiveness, accept Jesus into your heart, and then, there you go.
Yeah.
But what does that do, though? Like, I mean, it gets you that's the first step, the most important step you need, but then what do you do after that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, then it's a thing where it's every day. You got to live that every day. And we're not talking about going around being Gandhi or Mother Teresa. That ain't the point of that, man. Mm-hmm. It's the point of you working on bettering yourself every day and dealing with people around you, learning to forgive more than anything. The hardest thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Learn to forgive. Now, forgiving doesn't mean you have to go and immediately be friends and go to the movie with this person. But it does mean you need to forgive in your heart. Right. You know what I'm saying? And once you start letting go, then that's when God is able to start blessing you. If you ever want to know why you're stuck in a rut, start thinking back about well, you start thinking back a little while and say a little ways and say, you know, what's been going on? Do I need to make something right with somebody, or you know, those things are powerful, man. That's powerful energy passed in between each other, between people when they're angry or when they're happy.
Right.
You feel me? You can uplift somebody, or you can tear them down, not even knowing it. Mm-hmm.
And faith without, and as they say, you know, my mom and grandma always taught me, faith without works are dead.
Man.
so.
Man, you said, boy, you will put me back in church on Sunday. I'm telling you. This is the thing, man. I'm getting ready to wrap this up because I need to get back out here, brother.
Okay.
But what I will say this, man. One thing I want to touch on this as far as the project is concerned is other thing that we do have as well is we're doing it through the power of music.
Yeah, I wanted to go there.
We have an original soundtrack. We have an original soundtrack for Supernal Darkness where the artist sign a non-disclosure, they read the script, and then they go and create a song. So the first artist I approached, he was like, well, I don't do rap. And I said, well, did I ask you to do rap? What do you do? I do heavy metal. Well, go write a heavy metal song. And he kind of looked at me like, really? I'm like, yeah. Well, guess what? When he wrote the song, and I heard the song, I heard his lyrics, because I performed on it too, I was like, wow, this brother done been through it. And he never talked about it, but you don't write a song that's that powerful without having some type of connection to it. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So this is like, we got everything. Heavy metal, jazz, R&B, hip-hop, techno, you know, the whole nine. And we're going to use that as a medium because music is the most powerful thing on the planet. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing that can stimulate the left and the right side of the brain at the same time.
Yeah.
So, along with throwing darts with everything that we're doing, the more darts you throw, you're liable to hit something.
Yeah. And
it's going to stick. But for me, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. All of this is going to just be that success, but it's already a success now. I mean, it's building up to what it is. So,
right.
You know, I really do appreciate the fact that you've taken this time to do what you've been doing and allow me to come on the show and to really speak about this project, man. And I definitely want to take you up on you know, putting some of the tracks we have.
Yeah.
On rotation through the show. And I got some other tracks. I just get a chance to send them. I've been so busy with this production.
Okay.
Because I'm wearing a couple different hats. So.
Right.
But other than that, man, my next project after that I want to do is one about the black guy who invented the gas mask.
Oh, what?
Now, yeah, he was the first. And matter of fact, he was the first brother to have a car up in Detroit.
Wow. In the D.
That's
My goodness.
How powerful the story was, Keith? He invented the gas mask. And then ended up having to use it in real life, literally, I think it was 4 or 5 days later.
Damn.
He ended up rescuing some people out of a building, and he walks out carrying somebody, looking at him like, what the heck is that on your face?
Yeah.
And it's like, that's his gas mask. But he invented the traffic light and everything as well. But this is a brother. This is a brother with slick back hair and everything, man. So, it's these things where I'm not doing this because I'm, you know, like I said, I'm pro-black, you know, yeah, I am, but it's not that. We're giving different stories and different perspectives of people out there. We've got all of this other stuff telling about all this other culture and history, but where is the rest of the history? Where's the things that aren't told? You know what I'm saying? That was kept out of the books. I need to know about that.
And there's a whole lot of it.
Know about these little things, man.
It's a whole lot of it. And every time somebody out there can think that they are almost to the end of the list, it goes on.
Yep. It goes on and on and on, man. So, you know, I'm doing my part and doing it the best way I can and approaching it and trying to stay humble. You know, but at the same time, I'm militant, man, and I'm a go-getter, bro. I'm a beast.
Yeah.
I don't mess around, you know. It's like this. You can't in this industry, you know, especially when I'm coming doing what I'm doing, right? You know, I'm really not Hollywood style.
Right.
Because I got a message, and it's a powerful message, and, you know, it's something that's never been done, something that's never been done before, man. And so that's what I think puts us in another category, man. So So
I'm gonna agree with you. It definitely does. I totally understand where you're coming from. Even in my field of where I'm at, in with the same category. As a matter of fact, just talking with film industry and being involved in that, it definitely is a different angle that we come from. I totally understand what you're saying. And you know what? I think why you carry the torch so well is because you're strong and passionate about what you mean. That's in you. You've been through it. But at the same time, you're intelligent. You bring knowledge to the table with this. You're not talking nonsense, Lovie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that says a lot. And look, sometimes, man, more than just about the films, I'd love for you to come on the show and let's just politic and just kick it about some of the things that we talked about today, because these are the important issues. I do a show every day, and I cherish the moments where I can actually have a segment like the ones where we just had, where there are really some life jewels being given out, man. That means a whole lot.
Man, I appreciate it, brother. To me, it's an honor, man. I mean, literally, when I brought you up to Mel Novak, and I told him I was going to come do your show, and he was like, "Gee, oh, man, that's a good brother right there. Well, I love that dude. You need to give him a shout-out for me."
Yeah,
and
man.
So, that right there, I already knew. I was like, okay, we gotta get Mel on. We gotta get Mel on so we can do this thing. So, I appreciate you having. I would love to come back, man. It would be an honor. And thank you to everybody out there that took the time to listen to this show today. Man, I got to get back out here, man, and keep making this movie magic, man. But I'm on set, and got to go out there and do my producing thing. So,
all right.
But thank you once again, Keith. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna send you some songs, man, some more songs as well. So you can kind of pick and choose what you would like. And then we'll keep in touch, man. And then we'll come out on this show soon, man, and just and chop it up for sure.
Absolutely, man. Please do. On the note of the songs, definitely send me some more. I had them on rotation in the station every day. I'll just switch them up, pick some days, play other days. But listen, they'll definitely be out there. So make sure you send me more of those. Listen, congratulations to you on all your success, not just on the screen, but just mentally being successful and just being so.
Man, wow, that's powerful, Keith. That right there is the best thing you said, man.
Yeah.
You told me congratulations on getting my mental on point. And that's if your mind ain't right, dog, you already know you're going nowhere.
Right.
You gotta have your heart right with God, man. And then if you get your heart right with God, everything else is gonna fall in place. I ain't no saint. Never tried to be no saint, man. I still got a potty mouth here and there. You know what I'm saying? I still get angry here and there. I'm a human being, but at the end of the day, that I'm willing to take responsibility. If I make hurt or anything, it's like I know when things go wrong. It's like I hurt just like everybody else.
Right.
And so you just got to keep things in perspective, man, and understand that. This ain't as overwhelming. This life ain't as overwhelming as you think it is. It's really not. But it can seem that way at times. It really can. And you're speaking for somebody who's been through it, So.
Yep.
All right. But other than that, brother, you're doing your part more than you ever think, Keith, because with you having me on the show and you putting songs into rotation and doing things like that, man, you're putting that energy out there for the project.
Amen.
It's gonna keep people in a whole other aspect of what we do. So,
well, you know what, right here on the show, man, consider it home. You know what I'm saying? Anything you got going on, I'm behind you 1,000%, my brother, no doubt.
Awesome, man. So last thing, so everybody out there, remember, Syndicate Smasher is coming out 2016, directed by Doug and produced and directed by Benny Tahandra. So Syndicate Smasher with myself and Mel Novak, Lorene Landon. So we've got some great talent in this project, action-packed, ready to go. And then Supernal Darkness will be coming later on. We plan on starting to film in October. So keep us in your prayers. Look up www.supernaldarkness.com. Look up Supernal Darkness on Facebook. And then look up Syndicate Smasher on Facebook as well. And keep in touch with us, man, because we're moving and shaking, and we're going to do some things.
Absolutely. And everybody out there, in case you tuned in halfway through a little bit late, or like I always say, you should have been here from the beginning. But in case you did come in late, don't forget the full conversation with myself, the wonderful Lovie Johnson, and also the legendary Mel Novak will be posted on social media shortly, so you can go check out the whole conversation there. Lovie, man, listen, we really appreciate you. God bless. Tell Mel Novak and the rest of the staff and the crew we said God bless as well, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Go do your thing, my brother.
All right, man. Take care, Keith, and everybody out there, all the Keith Harris Show fans, man. We love you. Take care, and God bless.
God bless. Everybody out there, that was the wonderful Lovie Johnson right here on the Keith Harris Show. Don't you touch that dial. Don't go nowhere. We got my main man, Warren DeAndre, coming up just a minute from now. Don't touch that dial. It's hot. It's going down. He debuting his new hit song, too. So y'all want to hear it right here on the Keith Harris Show. Let's get it.